Hey y'all.
Hey!
Welcome back to another episode with Mental Gardens.
Welcome to Masisi Radio. We are Mental Gardens. And this is Basel Week, so we are going to be talking about how we approach design within the Mental Gardens universe. And we're going to start it off talking just about how we approach designing our jewelry. But we're going to play some tunes. We're going to play a little something.
That was like a little intro, just a little soft something. Yeah, no, we could do a little chatting first. So yeah, it is Basel Week, so we've been really busy with like production, a lot of new pieces as well. So I feel like it would be cute to kind of start with like maybe your original designs, maybe some of the old school stuff, or your thought process behind making some of that stuff.
Yes, so I started off wire wrapping, and it was very sweet, but my ideas were more complex, or I don't know. It's just what I had in my head, I couldn't make out of wrapping the wire. So then I took a metalsmithing course, and that helped me design completely differently. That would have been the only form of education that I took for about 6 or almost 7 years. I developed my best-selling pieces with traditional metalsmithing designs, or like traditional making.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for the most part, the way I approached designing was kind of how to solve ways of not knowing how to do shit. Because, I didn't have too much mentorship. I had YouTube that I could always go on, but sometimes the questions are just more than YouTube can give.
Yeah.
And so I developed a lot of my best-selling items just from having to navigate problems. So it's so funny. It ends up being like nothing is very thought out.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of start
set in
with
stone anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I start
They kind
off.
of like they fall together in place, like sometimes I feel like the same way too. Like whenever you try and force something, it doesn't really work. So you kind of let things kind of flow, and that way it helps me more adaptable when it comes to being kind of like an abstract artist.
Yeah.
And also, like finding the style, especially for your jewelry. Like none of it is in the sense of like cookie cutter or traditional to where you have to like follow certain rules. Like of course like the basic rules of jewelry, but I feel like you're also able to just create your own rules. Just like we created our own world. So
Yeah.
our world, our rules.
Yeah, so now that I know how to work out of wax, I have more knowledge, like technical knowledge. I feel like I end up foraging ideas in the same way we forage plants that we use in our work. So when we go out for a lot of the plant stuff, we'll just go to parks and bring a little notebook and whatever looks really cute, like we just pick and we let it dry for about 2 months, and then it literally feels like Christmas or something. You're going through this book of things that you completely forgot about. You get excited all over again. So when I'm sitting down making pieces, I'm never really going into it expecting something, or maybe, like I'm just like, I want to make a ring. So, I start working on a ring, but it feels very much to stepping into that park or that garden, and you're just excited to see what's available. And it kind of feels that way in my head too when I'm floating around thinking about it, like I just have all these little ideas from things that inspire me throughout my life, throughout my week, my day. And then as we sit down, that's when it kind of, I get to pick things and just put them into action. But you've been doing a lot of designing as well, which has made me feel very excited for your future within the Mental Gardens universe, but inspired by the things that you make as well. So I want you to touch base a little bit on how you approach design.
Yeah, I feel like in the maximalist kind of style that I have, I feel like I also try to replicate it in the pieces that I make. So I could see in a lot of the pieces that you started with originally, it might be more just straightforward and direct, to where, like it could be just the center focus of like the flower or whatever plant you're using. But I feel like for me, I try to definitely like work multiple different things in, like colors and shapes. So a lot of my more, like maximalist styles incorporate a lot of like scraps that we might use, and also just being able to kind of be resourceful and sustainable in that sense of not letting things go to waste.
Yeah.
So being able, especially when we are like, dealing with nature and recycling it in that sense through jewelry, I feel like it's sweet to repurpose them all. And yeah, just always finding like second life for things, like especially when we find little bugs and like little other pieces of nature besides just plants that,
Yeah.
people may question like the efficacy of it, but I feel like, it comes and like finds us, and then we are definitely giving it new life and repurposing it through adornments.
Yeah, I think too, when I started giving you more creative freedom to design your own stuff,
It worked a little easier too.
you felt like what do you mean?
I feel like for me it worked a little easier. I feel like for me it might have been hard to feel like I was trying to replicate your work or stick within like a design that you may like if I was like thinking too hard about it, again, like trying to force it. So a lot of times whenever I make a little batch of earrings or rings, like the stuff that I thought you might have liked the most wasn't like what it was. Like
It's always like that.
Different,
it's so crazy,
you know? And then even when I just kind of play around. And a lot of times with the more maximalist style of stuff that I've made, I just kind of like freestyle it. I play around with it. I kind of just let things fall into place.
I think in the beginning, in the beginning of everything, it's always gonna take. Why are you taking me off frame?
I was just fixing it. I wasn't
we
taking
on
you
that
off.
moment to go, and you take me.
I wasn't taking you out of the frame.
Okay, I just want to
baby.
fight.
Yeah. She can't even focus. She just want to fight.
I haven't really eaten much. It's just a coffee. I need water bad.
We had a croissant. The croissant was
The
cute.
croissant was cute, and they were eating us up in there, which was sweet.
Uh-huh.
So I felt it through the food.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I remember when you first started designing things on for Mental Gardens, it was very time consuming for you.
Yeah,
and
I was
so
just thinking too much.
In the beginning, and I think I prefer to do this. I mean, you just kind of throw someone off the deep end. I'm sorry. I can't prepare you for what you don't know.
And I feel like I learned the best way that way too.
Yeah, I feel
being
like I
kind of
recognize
adaptable,
that.
like
So I was like, here's
do
some
it.
pieces, here's some flowers, here's some resin, do whatever you want to do. And then I'm watching you, and I'm like, okay. And then that's when I would step in as like the creative director and just be like, okay, look, this is the idea behind why a piece looks like that. So an example would be like a little resin ring. Those are very popular, or like this one, like a class ring. They're very popular, they're affordable. I'm not trying to spend too much time on them, so just put whatever you want on it. We don't have to think that much.
Something quick and easy.
Yeah, it's not like a $200 piece where I'm trying to fit in all the detail and really give it that experience. It's more of like, a little keepsake, or it's a more affordable item.
Yeah, and there's more curation that goes into the more expensive pieces.
More time spent on it.
Yeah, which is what it reflects the cost of the piece. Yeah.
And so in the beginning, I felt like I just came in and I was like, oh, I really like your design. You're being really complex, but we can cut down the time on these. You don't have to spend, 15 minutes on one ring when you can spend 15 minutes doing 10.
Yeah.
Just give them some
and not
sort
everything
of...
has to be super unique or like crazy,
But it is. It ends up being super unique at the end of the day.
I mean, especially with the way that we're working with it. But I feel like, even just trying to reach other people's like aesthetics and designs and styles, you want more of the simple stuff anyways, so it's nice to have that range.
Yeah, because not everybody wants the
something
most,
crazy or the most, so it does match well with like a minimalist style and more of a maximalist style.
So it was really sweet to see that growth and that process happen with you, where you would like sit down and still make, and the pieces that you make now are not far off from the pieces that you were making in the beginning.
No.
They're very, very similar.
Yeah.
I think that once you kind of find your breath, and once you catch that breath, you keep the momentum, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like you kind of understood what I was looking for from a business, more like practical standpoint. And then, me letting you have your own creative fun, and you've kind of brought both those things together. And
and just really did it, started doing it. Yeah, I feel like it definitely helps with me being that kind of adaptable person to where I'm also pretty aware of things and just paying attention. So I figured out like what you kind of wanted and what you liked, what worked, what didn't.
Yeah, and I think that that's a big
I'm a
part
visual learner
of.
too, so I just learn from watching you.
That's a big part of mental gardens. It's like foundational, is that adaptability. It's something that I've always carried within the conception of mental gardens. And when Brock came in, that was something I instantly saw they had, and I was like, okay, this is a good match. Because for, a lot of it, I don't like really schedules. I don't really like rules. But I'm also
Me
kind
neither.
of I'm also kind of very logical in the way when it comes
it
to
still
just
gets done.
operating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to get done. We have to finish. Like, we can't, keep prolonging it. Also, I've always been a self-funded independent artist. So as grueling as it may feel sometimes, part of my designing is making sure that it's profitable. That's that part. I had to grapple with that a lot when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm just like, okay, it's just part of living.
Oh, it's so sweet. Somebody on here
what?
said they met us at Pitchfork when we were selling.
Oh my
The last
God.
Pitchfork in Chicago. R.I.P. Pitchfork.
Do you have any questions for us? Anything that has to do with designing, our production, how we approach making new pieces? That's kind of what we're talking about in the live right now. And I'm just really talking about how I've had to integrate profitability and thinking about the bottom dollar as we design these pieces.
And I feel like you've done that in just branching out into different styles of adornments. Like we have like more of the class rings that I'm wearing that are more affordable, as well as like earring studs or dangles, and then more of the expensive pieces like the pendant you have on, or like our orchid rings. So, and then especially of course grills. I mean, that has like a whole new level to everything.
Yeah, that added a whole other section for us. But I wanted to ask you too, like if there was, I know education for me was something I felt very averse to. Like, oof, I didn't want to go to school. I really didn't want nobody.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I did want a mentor though, and I mean, I feel like you find those in school, but school was so expensive. But now that you're entering also the designing and production part of Mental Gardens universe, what is something that you feel you're missing, or something you would love to learn that could improve or enhance or broaden your world?
I feel like I kind of touched on it maybe in some of the other episodes, kind of like time management and kind of just juggling things, juggling everything that we do on a day-to-day or like a weekly basis, and then still, taking care of like myself, making sure I'm getting sleep and I'm, eating.
So you could benefit on like a seminar or a course on time management.
Yeah, or also even, again, like I think more so what I've been getting a better grapple on is kind of like redirecting things and like making everything kind of work in the sense of like being chronically positive, or just being resourceful in the sense of like taking a moment and like making it your own kind of thing.
Okay.
If some shit
I mean,
goes
there
left.
are courses for that. I've learned that throughout, my little career.
Your career, yeah.
Is,
not so little, never the little one.
But my ways.
Big mental gardens.
I've been hitting the gym,
yeah, that's the only thing little.
That's part of my creation. I come up with a lot of shit when I'm like sweating. But there are a lot of seminars out there. A person maybe wants to open up a business. They think they got to go to school to do a whole degree in AA and business.
Yeah.
Bruh, just what is it that you want to do? Just start doing it. As you start doing it, you figure out, damn, I'm really bad at project management.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Okay.
Staying on task, making sure you finish your task, the balance between work and life. That's all project management. So I will definitely look. There's a lot of courses like at FAU that you can just go and even sit at on some Florida skimmer shit. Just sit in a class, like you got
just
friends
join
in
the
college.
class.
Oh, you got a project management class. Let me just sit in it a couple times and see if the information is valuable. I personally would stay away from the little online gurus. I'm telling y'all that right now. Right now, if somebody's saying to be an expert online, just don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Just pray for them.
Just don't spend money on no online course.
Yeah, I feel like also just in person
unless it's
works
one-on-one.
best, especially if you're, I don't know, doing stuff like with your hands, like how we are, and you're creating in that sense. You need to.
I
learn
just feel
visually.
like as small businesses, like like whatever, we're very vulnerable to people reaching out for help, like that can help us and give us some sort of value that will make our life feel less fucking confusing. It will always be confusing. There's really no way out. But a lot of the times the online courses and stuff is just scammers, people telling you obvious ass shit. So
Yeah.
what I do a lot of the times is I'll ask people around me that are also in the same kind of field, and I'll just ask them, like, how do you go about managing your time? There's the people that really do it that will give you the best advice.
Yeah, like real life experience
Yeah.
rather than some like textbook shit. Like,
Uh-huh. But in this case, I will be looking at like maybe little seminars. Sometimes different cities too, they'll have programs where you can learn about paying your taxes, being on code for your city, like things like that. So you can always look into your city to see what resources you can pull from to get better at what you feel you're lacking. So the time management, that would be cool, like a
Yeah.
project management course. That would be really dope. But
That
they
would be
teach you
cute.
softwares. They teach you things outside of what you
maybe used
understand.
to.
Yeah. So that it makes your life more optimal. Like, if we know we have Basel Week coming, it would be dope maybe if you knew how to just make like a whole spreadsheet or something that would give us the full rundown so that it's not just all in our head.
Yeah.
And something we can print out, have out in this, and then that'll just help keep us like afloat, like the
Yeah.
mental piece of it all. So that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, and staying on track better, and just having the flow of it all, especially as workloads or workflow might get a little bit busier, heavier. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like something I want to learn that is going to open my designing world is going to be learning how to do like CAD, like learning the, just online softwares.
Yeah.
And hopefully that, I can just make new things.
Yeah,
with
different
that.
stuff, especially, it's just a whole different style when it comes to the CAD work that you'll see compared to hand sculpted. And then just being able to offer both of those again just kind of branches out to profitability and just opportunities, being able to really make any piece that anybody might want. Yeah.
Something else along with, designing pieces that I feel is so interesting to watch is when you're most creative. For some people, it's like all over the place. Me personally, I feel like I'm most creative at night. So, I kind of focus my day-to-day activities to do like orders or things that don't require that much creativity.
Yeah.
And then when I feel like, okay, it's,
It's kind of time to have fun. You party at night, so
but sometimes, you party at night, like. But sometimes the urge is too strong, and you need to just sit down and get that design out of your head.
Yeah, it's finding the balance. Like again, like how you said, like sometimes the shit just needs to get done. So it's finding the balance between the business and pleasure, of course, of like being able to kind of do what you want because it is your world. It works on your timing and still being able to get stuff done and not just let things like fall to the wayside.
When I design a piece as well, I always finish it in that moment. Sometimes that's good, sometimes I'd say most times that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's bad because I want to have that piece that I can be like, oh yeah, I spent like 20 hours on that. You can see it. You can always go deeper and deeper into the details, into the messages. I love putting hidden messages in my work.
Yeah, those are always super sweet. I love the engravements.
Like words, dates. I have pieces that I've dated with the years from like 2020, 2021. But it's hard for me to put a piece down and then come back to it. I feel like every time, like this piece, I literally made this piece probably in like an hour. I just sat down and I just.
Yeah.
The same goes with this. I probably made this literally in like 15 minutes. I like speed rounds. There's something about me that really like thrives in the adrenaline and the chaos of doing something fast. I feel like, bless you, baby.
Thank you, boo.
That kind of comes from my childhood. My grandma's a Gemini. She raised me. And I remember anytime she would have me do chores or anything, bruh, she would be like on my ear, being like, rápido, 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 like literally tell me to go fast. And I used to make fun of her for it and be like, you're really annoying, like get out my ear. But you know, the voice of whoever raised you is your inner voice as an adult. And I
Yeah.
hear her in my head sometimes just being like,
Rápido,
yeah, you're
rápido.
doing great. Don't overthink it. Just hurry
Yeah.
up and get it done, you know? And
Yeah,
I
'cause I feel like
approach
the
that.
overthinking a lot of times. I mean, maybe it is because we're so Mercury ruled. Ring
Ooh.
down.
I'll get
Don't
that later.
forget her.
Yeah.
That threw me off.
Sometimes I have that approach with you.
Yeah, because I feel like I
where,
overthink sometimes. So I feel like a lot of times when I just sit and just do it and just get it out.
Yeah, I'm
a
like,
lot
it
of
don't
times
matter.
ends up
Somebody will
just
like
being
it.
great.
You
Yeah.
don't have to like. That's another thing.
I'd be telling
with
you that
our
too.
work.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I'm not always going to love every single piece that I
Yeah.
do, especially when a lot of the pieces we make are one of ones. So we just have to trust in our natural, ability in our eye, and we put it out in the world, and we have enough experience at this point to know someone's gonna buy that.
Yeah. Somebody
Someone's gonna like
somewhere,
it.
Yeah.
I don't have to fall in love head over heels with every piece. And the gag is the piece that we're usually the most
Yeah.
nonchalant about
Uh-huh.
becomes a bestseller.
No, literally, that one time haven't made bracelets in forever, and then we made some bracelets, and damn near sold out.
Yeah, literally the first day we launched those bracelets, we had like 20, 15, and we only had 2 left.
Yeah.
So that was a really big telling for us. When you design, we have enough years in the game, enough time designing. At this point, your voice, your design voice is strong. Whatever you touch, whatever you make is gonna have your character in it. So you don't gotta think too much. You just finish the piece.
Yeah.
That's a big kind of like driving
Mantra,
factor.
like,
yeah, it's a mantra. It's definitely a
yeah.
Mental Gardens mantra.
Mental Gardens mantra.
Okay, mantras with Mental Gardens. What's another one?
Clock out for me, boo.
Clock out for me, boo. When it's time to stop, you gotta stop.
Yeah, don't force it.
And
Again.
I learned that with the designing because sometimes I'd be like, okay, no, like I want to spend more time making a piece. And I feel done. Emotionally, I feel done. Like I'm done making that piece, but I'll keep going because I'm like, sometimes I'll put value on like, oh, I spent X
like
amount
how
of
much
time.
time went into it
and
or
I break
whatever,
the damn
yeah.
piece. I break the piece.
By overworking it.
Yeah, a great example is like if I'm setting a stone, I'm trying to do more and more and more and make it more, and boom, I crack the damn stone because I'm just like hyper fixating on it when I know I was finished. So a lot of the times too, if I don't know if I'm done, I look at the functionality of it. Does it fit well? Is it comfortable? Is the stone set in place? What is it gonna fall apart? If everything is good, then bitch, you're done with the piece.
Yeah,
just
like,
let it. You're done.
it's
Just
not
put it
broke,
aside.
don't
Do
fix
something
it,
new.
yeah.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. A Mental Gardens mantra.
Another mantra.
Done is better than perfect. No, wait. Yeah, that's the mantra. Yeah, done is better than perfect. I learned that very early on, and that helped me complete a lot of designs, especially earlier on in my designing process when, I was still fairly young with Mental Gardens. And I'm figuring out my creative voice. I'm not 100% sure whether that piece is speaking to me or not because I'm figuring it all out. I'm like, okay, well, it's done. It's functional. It's not going to break apart. It's comfortable. So it's done.
Yeah.
I can leave it. And I did that enough times to be like, oh, okay. I'm starting to trust the stuff I put out. I don't have to overthink it too much.
Period.
Segue.
We can start playing some tunes.
Yeah, I was
feel
thinking
like,
that.
we had a
I
little
was
chat there.
like, it's time to
And then
chat.
we're gonna go probably a little more in depth with a design process. Maybe talk about some of the newer stuff that you're working on, and
Yeah, once we come back in, we're gonna start talking about how we design outside of jewelry. That is more so our lifestyle, how we keep up with the life, how we design that. So let's enjoy, let's sweat Mental Gardens aerobics.
stretch the body, align your chakras, and shake some.
Shake some, come shake some.
Shake some.
them on the leash, but you ain't got the strength to time them. Run his pockets though. Show you ain't no silly hoe. Tell them baby mother taught you better. I don't go for broke. Leave them at the crib without the kids. Spend the night with me. Looking with the coven, extra loving, secret safe with me. Take a trip to motherland. You poppin', you get in for free. All my bitches extra bad, but come on, I mean, look at me. We gon' dance the night away. Smoke till it's a cloudy day. Leave our obligations and frustrations on the dance floor. Dance floor. Wanna get beside you while you moving on your dance floor. Wanna get behind you while you moving on your dance floor. Wanna get to know you, don't you leave me on the dance floor. Leave a line and walk it off. I know you wanna dance. Come on, demon bitch. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait, just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. Lick it good, suck it, suck it just like you should. Right now, long legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait. Long legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait, just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. Lick it good, suck it, suck it just like you should. Right now, long legs pop your pussy like this. All your legs pop your pussy like this. All your legs pop your pussy like this. I'm contagious. All your legs pop your pussy like this. All your legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait. All your legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait. Just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. Lick it good, suck it, suck it just like you should. Right now, long legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait. All your legs pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't wait. Just do it, 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 Shake your body, don't stop. Shake your body,
Pelos excessos ela sabe, sente cheiro de longe, conteúdo por privacidade. Grava ela me mamando, da cintura pra baixo, criminoso, nato. Minha Glock só anda de roupa, mas quer te ver pelada. Senta e não para, quica vai. Senta e não para, quica vai. Essa novinha dorifã é demais.
Gosta que pega bolado, preferência que seja de quatro. Hoje eu te como amado, geme alto pro seu soldado. Vem pra cá, mamãe, me deixar desnorteado. Chá de bucetada, enlouquece o meu caralho. Gosta que pega bolado, preferência que seja de quatro. Hoje eu te como amado, geme alto pro seu soldado.
Visão, porra! DJ Faísca, caralho! Toma buceta, mané!
Hey! Wow, we just got the flu. So we, so we're contagious.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Nacho got the flu. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah, we still coming up with the taglines.
You know, it's a work in progress.
But welcome back. I
Welcome
hope
back.
y'all are feeling dewy, pretty. That was the best set with Contagious. Achoo! Achoo!
Sorry, y'all. I'm a little stuffy.
Yo, well, we're going to go back into our conversation
Yes, back into the
for our
design.
basil. We're talking about design within the
Basil?
Mental Gardens universe. Basil? Is basil?
Oregano.
Oregano.
Yeah, art oregano.
It's art basil. Because okay, so this is some deep lore. Okay. It's accent.
It's an accent. There's an accent. It's like a,
It's an accent.
It's a hidden accent.
Wee. But I used to be president of the poetry club, and my poetry name was Basil.
Yes.
Anyways.
And then Art Basel came because of you.
Because of me.
Yeah. You kicked it off.
So it's Art Basil because of me. Anyways. We're going to talk about how we approach designing other things outside of jewelry. A big example of that is our booth display. So that's like
Yes.
merchandise display. There's a name for that. I don't
It's
know.
kind of
what
like
called.
it's our storefront, you know, essentially for the
front of shop?
markets. Our face is the front of shop.
Okay. So that part is really fun, and and you can see how the foraging from creating with plants and the metal stuff, like how it is foundational in everything that we do, because a lot of our display is foraged.
Yeah, I mean like sourceful and like resourceful.
I use a lot of, right now, I'm using a lot of like
the
garnet
slabs, yeah.
They're like stones, really beautiful, precious stones that I found out somebody was giving away. There's this person that makes cutters, food cutters, what do you call that?
Cutting board?
Cutting boards.
Okay.
Out of like, stones like granite, whatever. I don't know what stones you use for that. Agates. And
What'd
they...
you just call me?
An agate. Ah! You an agate.
I just Aggie.
And they were giving away all the little split ends, the little butt pieces. And it's these big, beautiful, heavy stones, but they're gorgeous. And I went and I picked a bunch of them up. And
Yeah, now we use them for like kind of displays and just kind of like elevating the table so that, you know, it just looks nicer, more expensive.
Yeah, it just looks...
More like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, you just have like metal on top of like...
See, when people want to buy your displays, that's how you know it's good. And we've
yeah.
had multiple people try and buy like the little granite pieces or like a wood slab.
Yeah, I would say my Florida displays are always more elaborate because obviously it's easier for me. But throughout the year, like the 2 years or something that I have been traveling to other states, I'll buy things on Amazon, I'll buy things at wherever that I can use in that city. I can't travel with all my stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, sometimes there'll be something that's too cute and I have to just bring it back home with me.
Yeah.
And
Throw it in the suitcase.
Yeah. And so we have some pieces now on our table that are from just the travels that we've amassed. Like nothing on the table is really like a set or a kit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slowly kind of getting more into that.
Yeah,
because
it's kind of like thrown together, but still like curatedly.
Yes,
thrown
there
together.
needs to be more of a balance because what happens too when everything is kind of forged, there's no real like order to the court, you know? So it can be difficult sometimes for the eye to know what to look at.
So besides, yeah, so I guess, again, like trying to like pull the perspective for the shoppers, like would that be like another aspect to
Of designing
the table?
Yeah, totally. I'm very intentional with, you know, how the table looks. It's not just because it looks cute. There's a deeper reason behind it.
Yeah, do nothing without intention.
Nothing, because it costs money to do things without intention. And so it's fun.
And it's also like
because that's free time. That's free play. Like you need that. But when we're at the markets, you know, it's kind of like we only have a certain amount of time to make back the investment that we put in being there. So we want to maximize our
opportunity
to,
you don't want to
win.
just hide something that could potentially be like the bestseller, so to speak.
So, you know, I feel like me and you, we kind of share the fact that we're not the most like organized or whatever. I honestly think you're more organized than me.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, like
in different ways also. So
in different ways, yeah. But we're kind of stepping into that territory now where we're like, wait, let's have like all.
Because we're grown, we're 27, you know.
And not part of the 27 Club, because I'm staying alive.
Thank you. Y'all got to keep up with us.
And I designed that too, because if I wasn't living the lifestyle I was living now, I probably would have offed myself. No shade.
No shade.
Like.
No, I feel that too. So that's why I'm like, ooh, that last little year of Amazon that I was doing, like, I just had to really push through because otherwise it was a wrap for me. I would have clocked out for real.
Clocked out for real. But now we're implementing being a little bit more logical and like organized because we know now that we can make beautiful displays.
Yeah.
That look different, that have a feeling to them
that
when you
walk
in.
Eye-catching, it really just like immerses you into the whole world and the brand
an immersive experience.
Of Mental Gardens, and I feel like just expanding on that is gonna be so much more fun and like creating some sort of like hangout space, like a lounge space, like just to make things more open and just chill, like just kind of just replicating our lifestyle in
a booth.
Yeah, multiple different ways.
So right now we have. We're at Magic City Flea every weekend, usually on Sundays. That's in downtown Miami. Yeah,
get some plants and some jewelry this Saturday and Sunday.
So we have plants and jewelry, and you know, I've been thinking a lot about just like the future of markets like that. And I remember maybe a couple years ago they were getting really, really popular. I mean, you had a lot of markets down here in Miami that were just super, super cool. They still are. But I feel like as the time went on, the buyers got a little bit tired of the same stuff. And then, you know, that's growth. Like, you have to grow and improve on what you did before. And I feel like what that looks like for us to keep our display and our feet in the city, like exciting and memorable, is to kind of have more of a hangout spot.
Yeah.
Instead of just, oh, you just come here to buy. It's like, oh, you come here to catch a vibe because we're actually really fun and sweet and cool. And we love to key. So you just come hang out, and then there's just jewelry that you can buy, but that may look like having more of a loungy area where you can sit down, having music. We were talking about maybe having decks there. It could be like a little, like a DJ kind of event. Something soft, nothing crazy, but it changes the way that we shop.
Yeah.
Because if we're just
and turning it into a whole experience.
Yeah. So it's kind of bringing more of a little storefront to a pop-up, and that requires a lot of designing and just because we still have to make a profit and sell things in order for us to continue being there. So how do you mix that? And that's something you just have to experiment by trying. Like, you have to just do it and see where it goes. So we do a lot of designing outside of just making pieces. I think one of the big design accomplishments of my life was designing my lifestyle, if that makes sense. There was a moment in my life where all I did was just wake up, sit in the studio, work for like 10 hours, and then go to sleep. Like, there wasn't much excitement.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that, wow, I'm living a dream, like all these things, like that's exciting, but I wasn't really meeting people. I was doing really good online, but that's a whole other world. Like, I'm in real life too. And so.
And that's also how do you like stretch it out and expand like your means
reach,
of making money.
But so I had to design a life where I was desired, like I was needed out in the world too. And that's when I started doing markets. I was like, no, let me step out and meet people that live, near me. And that helped a lot. I also really designed doing this full time. That was something that was
like not on accident, like you definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't on accident. I remember when I did my first market at 17. After that, I spent money on the course. And when I did that market and I did really well, I remember thinking, wow, there's potential in this. I can do this. So how? How do I create a system of security for myself to where I can do this at my leisure whenever I want? And it required obviously having savings. So I started off with every job that I had. At every check, I would put money away in a savings account, and I just wouldn't touch it. I find that, I mean, we're talking about designing our lifestyle. Money is an integral part of that. Nobody really likes talking about money. Money's very uncomfortable. Fuck capitalism, but it's just the reality. Like, I'm sorry.
We all gotta make it.
We all have to make
somehow.
it, and we all have money. We all have, whether it's $1 or 1,000, money's always gonna, come in contact with us.
Around the corner. Yeah.
Something I believe in a lot is, there can be somebody that makes $200 a week, and another person that makes $800 a week. The person that makes $200 a week can be richer than the person that makes $800 a week. Why? Maybe the person that makes $800 a week has a lot of debt. So a lot of the money that they make isn't even theirs. They owe it on a car. They owe it on an expensive rent. So I designed my lifestyle to have really low cost of living. That was the first thing. What around me can I chop so that I don't have to spend money on that, and the more money is on the business and growing it.
Yeah.
So that meant, having a more affordable car that I could just buy in cash. I popped my car for like $4,000. Another part of that, and this is definitely a privilege, but I was living with my grandma for a really, really long time. My rent was only like $600. And just being aware of where my money was going on the little stupid shit. Like, it sounds so dumb, but a lot
it really
of
does add up, yeah.
If you don't have big debts, like if you don't have a car loan, if you don't have like a super expensive rent or, credit card debt and stuff like that, a lot of the times your liquid cash can just go on a lot of simple little things that, like food or, stuff that we need, but you can always like optimize.
Yeah, the way that you're spending and like where it goes, stretching the money, yeah.
And so at the time, because I had this free time, I definitely cut back on eating out a lot, but that's because I had more time to spend at home, cooking, whatever, so that really helped. but just savings. Like I just saved and saved. I was really non-negotiable. Like there were moments where I didn't have maybe money in my checkings account, but I had money in my savings account. I was not about to transfer I wasn't going to do that. Like I just let that money sit and sit and sit for a while, like years. And then I remember too, if there were moments where I just felt like that account wasn't growing, or I would just pick up a second job and everything I made from that went straight into that account. Like I would pick up, I did like a catering job that, I could choose my shifts, whether I wanted to do them or not. And to this day, I still kind of do that. I'm a stilt walker, and I'm just contracted, and I get to say yes to work or no to work. And every time I have money coming in from that, I don't touch it. I'm constantly setting up systems of security for myself, so that if I do fall, it's not the end of the world. I can pick myself back up again.
You might trip, but you'll never fall.
Okay. Like, or maybe I will fall and I'll break a leg, but I can lay down and rest till it heals.
That's
I don't have
true
to push past the pain.
That's also the way that you're setting that up too, to where you have that cushion.
Yeah. So that took years worth of designing, And then once I got to a point where I was like, wait, I think I have enough money to get me through my rent a year. So that helped. Like I was once I hit that, I was like, okay, I think I can try this. And all my systems of security were put to test, and they passed.
And there you go.
We've been full time now for almost 5 years.
Yeah, I love that. And full time for me for a year.
Yeah.
Shout out to that.
So shout out to that. So designing is not just making a piece from start to finish. It also looks like, what is your life leading up to you designing that piece? Design your life. Design your circumstances. It takes years, decades. It's not something that happens overnight. I'm so happy I was able to talk about this with everybody and share our ethos and our world.
Tidbits.
And I love DJ Contagious. Thank you for bringing in the vibes.
Masisi Radio.
We love y'all.
Masisi Radio.
See you next week.